we're going to talk about Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. So, with all this contract negotiations going on, all the stallings, one side said this side said that. So, did the Dallas Cowboys hold off on signing Dak Prescott?
Yes. Look, I think Dak Prescott is a middle-of-the-pack quarterback. He's asking for a contract to be the highest paid in the NFL. And I like Dak Prescott. I like them at Mississippi State. And I actually like the Cowboys. I know there's a lot of Cowboy haters out there. I like them mainly because of Zeke. But my thing is, he's asking for way too much if he's asking for $45 million a year. That is too much. That would make him the highest paid in the league by far, obviously, until Patrick Mahomes signs a contract next year, who I would pay the most in the NFL. But Dak Prescott, no. I think he should take the deal of $35 million. But I mean, he's doing the right thing. He's trying to get the most money possible, which I don't blame him. And just like the Cowboys, they're trying to keep him at the least amount of money possible. So I think both sides are doing what they need to do. The Cowboys are trying to stay firm, and Dak Prescott is trying to get as much as possible. I don't blame him. However, if I'm the Cowboys and I'm negotiating, I'm going to say, here's $35 million a year. Here's a pen and a paper. If you don't want that, we are rolling with Andy Dalton. And I honestly would roll with Andy Dalton for much, 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 much cheaper. And because I know Dak Prescott is not, for example, if the NFL does come back and we play and the Cowboys just give up on Dak and the contract, Dak Prescott's going to be forced to come in there and sign a contract. He doesn't want to sit out a year, and he's not going to do that. You force him to do that, and I think $35 million is more than fair for Dak Prescott. Don't blame him for asking for more, but if the Cowboys give him $45 million,
he doesn't have to sign anything.
What?
He's franchise tag.
Right. And I'm okay with that as well, but I don't think he wants that franchise tag. He wants to sign a long-term deal. And if I'm Dallas, I am not giving him more than $35 million a year. I am going to roll with Andy Dalton because I know Dak Prescott wants to be a Dallas Cowboy. And anybody out there, y'all can hate and all y'all want on the Dallas Cowboys. If y'all are their starting quarterback, you will not want to leave. It is the Dallas Cowboys. You will love that fame and that spotlight. You will not want to leave. So Dak Prescott is going to fall into that trap of just saying,
"Fix your face, Keo.
I'll take $35 million." So I'm not signing Dak Prescott more than $35 million. And if I'm Dallas, I stand pat with that.
Okay, let me ask you a question. I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. Are you for or opposed paying players extra due to what they've done in the past and how much they've got paid in the past? Because 3 seasons ago, he got paid $680,000 for the year. 2 seasons ago, $780,000.
Right.
Last year, $2.2 million.
Right.
That's
well,
money.
That unfortunately is Dak Prescott's fault. Why? Because he wasn't better. He wasn't better in college. Get drafted higher. The higher you get drafted, the more you get paid. I'm sorry. You ended up. I believe Dak Prescott was a 4th-round pick. I'm sorry. Why don't you ball out like Joe Burrow and improve and get the number 1 pick? I mean, seriously. I'm sorry you got paid $600,000. That's your rookie deal because that's when you got signed and drafted. No one thought you were worth a 3rd-round pick, a 2nd-round pick, 1st-round pick. That is down to the players. So I don't care about how much I paid you in the past. It's about what am I going to pay you going forward. Now, I get people say you get paid for your future contracts of what you're gonna do, not what you've done. I think that's a little skewed, And the reason why is the reason you get those long-term contracts for the future is because of what you did in the past. Because you had to show you were worth somewhat of that money. Mm-hmm. But I don't care about you getting paid so little on your rookie contract. What's that got to do with me? You weren't worth a second-round pick, a first-round pick. So I don't get that argument at all.
But you overperformed that fourth-round pick.
And that's fine. And that's why you're going to get another contract. But you're not going to get the highest paid unless you're Patrick Mahomes. Unless you've won me an MVP, a Super Bowl MVP, a Super Bowl, I don't see a reason to pay you that much. I realize I think he won the division twice. I know he beat Russell Wilson in the playoffs once, so I think he's got one playoff win. But one playoff win, and you expect the highest contract ever? If I'm Dallas, I'm saying $35 million is even generous a year. That's just me.
I mean, Matt Ryan got paid. Joe Flacco got paid.
Matt Ryan
got paid.
Matt Ryan's been to a Super Bowl and won MVP. So I'm okay with that. And I can't really blame Matt Ryan for losing that Super Bowl. He had the highest passer rating ever for a losing quarterback in a Super Bowl. So he did his part. It's kind of like Kevin Durant against the Heat. He averaged 30 on 50%. So I'm okay with Matt Ryan. Carson Wentz, I get what you're saying, and I'm gonna look up his contract right now. If it's over $35 million a year, he's overpaid too. He got 32 a year. I'm okay with that. He got 32 a year. Dak's asking for 35. I would give Dak 35. I'm okay with that.
That argument is in 4 years the TV contract is going to be up, and they're going to have a higher.
The cap goes up. I get what you're saying, but so just because the cap goes up, that doesn't mean I need to give you. That's why the franchise tag exists. Kirk Cousins did it the right way. He took the franchise tag and he waited for the cap to rise and rise and rise, and then got an awesome deal at the end. So Dak doesn't have to sign it now. He can go franchise tagged, and I think he might get even more next year, and he'll have another year to prove it. The only downfall with the franchise tag, you don't have money guaranteed long term. So to me, I'm okay with Matt Ryan, won an MVP, been to a Super Bowl, played great in the Super Bowl. Carson Wentz got $32 million a year. I said I'd give Dak 35. I am not giving him more than 35 a year. I think even that's generous.
What I'm hearing is that Dak is wanting 4 years and they want 5 because Dak wants it less so that he can get that higher contract in 4 years.
Right. Okay. And I don't blame Dak for doing that, and I don't blame Dallas on their position. I think they're both doing the right thing right now. I'm just saying I think Dallas has the leverage because we have Andy Dalton, a guy that –
come on, man.
That might not be as good as Dak Prescott, but he's not far off. Let's not act like Andy Dalton is a scrub and Dak Prescott is Patrick Mahomes. Come on now.
Andy Dalton is not Andy Dalton of 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah, but he also did play in Cincinnati.
So what you think they should do, Jay? I know you're asking all these questions, but what you think they should do?
Who?
The Cowboys and Dak Prescott.
Well, I think, like he said, I believe that both of them are doing the right thing for themselves. But I honestly don't see how the Cowboys will be able to afford the top paid receiver in the whole NFL, the top paid running back in the whole NFL, one of the top paid linebackers in the whole NFL, and the top paid quarterback in the NFL. I don't understand how that works. Unless Jerry Jones is doing some under the table work, I don't understand how the cap works that way.
Well, the issue, Justin, is it's going to affect them long term. In a couple of years, they won't be able to sign anybody.
No, they're going to have to cut everybody. So I just don't see how this is going to work out. Somebody's going to have to leave soon.
And that's another reason why the Dallas Cowboys should try to save some money with this deal is to not spend all that money on Dak and so you save a little bit of money in the future.
So you would be cool with going forward with Andy Dalton?
No.
I would, because I think if you do that, Dak is going to come in at least by week 2 and say, "Fine, I'll take $35 million a year. I just want to play."
No,
Right.
the
So
Cowboys will lose, and then Dak will be like, "Give me my money. You need me, just like Zeke did."
So I'll say this. I agree with y'all as far as both sides are doing what's right for them. But here's my issue with the Cowboys. The guy that's been consistent is Dak Prescott. He doesn't give you trouble off the field like Zeke. Zeke sat out and you still paid Zeke. You still went out there and paid Zeke pretty much what he wanted.
But
Zeke wanted, he got.
But Zeke is better at his position than Prescott is at his.
But what would you say is the most important position?
Quarterback.
The quarterback, but I don't think Andy Dalton's far off of Dak. That's why I roll with Dalton.
And not only that, we're not going to reward Dak for not giving no trouble off the field. You don't have to worry about Dak. Dak's been a stand-up guy in that organization since he's been there. You're paying everybody but him, and
I will say they also made a mistake giving DeMarcus Lawrence that money. He's not worth that money.
I just feel like the guy Dak is, I think that they should just go ahead and pay him. Now, I'll be the first one to tell y'all. Yvonne knows this, Keo knows this, even Justin knows this. I'm one of the stingiest dudes when it comes to saying dudes should get paid. I don't like to pay anybody because I feel like I can find a replacement. But I do look at Dak's situation a little different, only because you paid every other person. And this guy has been stand up. When Amari Cooper last year on 4th down, you gave him $100 million, and on 4th down, he was off the field. He wasn't even on the field for the 4th down. They had to throw the ball to Michael Gallup. I wouldn't have paid Amari Cooper, but I was going to pay Dak Prescott. I think they're in a tough situation. But man, I don't mind it because I'm not a Cowboy fan. Woo-hoo! But in all honesty, I can see what Yvonne said as far as Andy Dalton. He's not that far of a drop-off. But I do think that they got to meet on a common ground. If they're going to make Dak Prescott the highest-paid quarterback, despite him not being the best quarterback in the NFL, I think he should take that deal. Keo?
Okay. Well, I don't know where to start, but I'm gonna start. I'm just gonna start. So with this Dak Prescott thing, I think they should hold off on Dak Prescott because the Cowboys, they're meeting him in the middle, and Dak Prescott is saying, "Hey, I want more. I deserve more." No, Dak, you do not deserve more. You are not a top 10 quarterback. You don't deserve top 10 money. You are not Patrick Mahomes. You are not Russell Wilson. You are not Aaron Rodgers. And let's not act like Dak is this perfect guy. Like he stays out of trouble. The dude just threw a party a couple weeks ago during the stay-at-home shelter. I mean, and Stephen Jones addressed that. He took a shot at Dak Prescott, and Dak Prescott obviously fired one shot back at him. But one thing that nobody does, you don't go to war with Jerry Jones because you will pay a huge price.
God. I do disagree there. Zach didn't pay.
And as far as the most and when you look at Dak, people talking about he deserves all this money, and we like to go off of projections. So in I think CBS in fantasy football, Dak Prescott is projected to be a top 4 fantasy quarterback. We go to this year, I think in Caesars, Dak Prescott is projected to go as high as a top 4 as an MVP candidate. Last year, he was he was ranked 24th as far as MVP chances. His little buddy partner, guy that I do think's the most consistent, Zeke Elliott, was ranked higher than him at 17. And the reason why he's ranked so high off of these projections, and he's saying, "Hey Jerry, I think I deserve this money because you see all these projections that I'm getting right now." And Jerry said, "Hey, the only reason why you're projected this high because we drafted the most explosive receiver in the draft, the rookie of the year, Mr. 88, CD Lamb." I hate calling him Lamb, so I'm just gonna call him CD Lion because he's a lion when I watched him at Oklahoma. So man, CD Lamb, I don't want to keep bragging about him, his route running ability, intangibles. I think he's good at great big catch situations. We all know he's a touchdown waiting to happen. He's a touchdown machine. If you want to put it in perspective, and at the end of the day, I'm not gonna pay Dak Prescott that type of money because he doesn't deserve it. I don't have faith in him to be that leader to lead my team to the Super Bowl. This guy is what? You're 1-2. You're 1-2 in the playoffs, and all of a sudden you think you deserve money as much money as what Patrick Mahomes is about to request. You got to be kidding me, Dak Prescott. And you got to meet in the middle, and you got to compromise. That's part of being a Dallas Cowboy. That's part of being part of the most loved and the most hated team, America's team, I might add. And,
oh my God!
I agree, Keo. You are so right. I might just turn into a Cowboy fan tonight.
Oh my God!